time.
I think we're off to the races.
Yeah,
it's showtime.
We're live, ready to go. Here we go. We're doing it. Show number 2. Go. Take it away.
That's right. I think what it was is we went live a little bit earlier last time to give people time to come on board. So we'll do that now. We're just kind of, we'll check in. We'll go right in it in a few minutes. The show's written so we can be very organic.
There you go. There you go. I love it. I love it. So we're good.
Yeah, we are. We're in San Francisco and Silicon Valley thanks to technology, and I'm sure we're going to see people join us and jump in and out or wherever. So, we want to say if you were with us last week for our inaugural launch, welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. We feel your energy, and we're excited about that. I'm going to put some of you to work already. I'm going to put you to work right now because I have a question for you from the last show that we did. And that question is, and you can put it in the comments and we'll check throughout the show this week. The question is, what were the 2? We gave you 2 actually. 2 pops of confidence, 2 pro tips that we gave you last week. Put them in the comments and then we'll recap at the end of this show. So, for everyone who this is your first time with us, thank you for joining us. We're really glad that you're here. You're part of our growth process now, so you're part of the family. And we're not pros at this yet, but we're getting there. That's the goal. And they have me on the tech side of things, so that's always kind of a giggle. For those of you that know me, I am many things, but I am not a technology person. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Carmen Milagro. I'm a confidence strategist. I am a CBD educator. I am a lyricist and a singer, and I'm an entrepreneurist. That kind of covers the whole gamut of all the things that I do. I'm sharing the screen for the next 30 minutes with Silicon Valley's one of the top entrepreneurs from Silicon Valley, Mauricio Mejia.
Well, thank you. And, I like that. Did you say artistpreneur? What was that new term that I heard?
No, entrepreneurist.
There you go. All right.
And an artist. But I can't take the credit for that, Mauricio. One of my directors and coaches that I used to work with, he's a filmmaker and a musician. We kind of came up with that together, but it was mostly his brainchild. So Craig Abaya, if you're watching, I still remember you coined that phrase. I'm giving you all the props.
That's cool. I like it. So anyhow, well, thank you very much. It's for the last couple of minutes, I was trying to find a good setting. Obviously we're getting better every week at this, and I think that our content is what's more important than the setting. But at the same time, we want to make sure that it doesn't look like we're broadcasting from our living room. So today I'm broadcasting live from my couch here in the Silicon Valley. As the sun sets, you'll see behind me. I live right across the street from the Zoom headquarters, and it's just interesting. Yeah, no, we're good. It's just interesting to see how that all these big companies that are downtown. And it feels like it's a ghost town. I mean, Adobe is right across the street from you as well. There's some big banks, pretty big law firms and all that. And it's just been interesting to deal with this quarantine. And we're now in week number 6. And it looks like it's going to go for another 4 to 6 weeks. Right. So, as we adapt to this, we really need to sharpen our business skills. So I appreciate, I like to consider myself a successful entrepreneur, but an entrepreneur has a lot of meanings to it. So I always tell people, and I shared with you 3 great videos this morning. Yeah,
we'll dive into that for sure.
Yeah.
But Mauricio, for folks that are joining us now and they didn't watch, I don't know why they wouldn't have watched this last week, but they probably want to know a little bit about who they're watching. Can you give us a 5-minute business background review on who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so completely, and my passion and my love, which I still do to this day, is entertainment. I grew up in the entertainment, nightlife, concerts, just my background, just entertainment, and really the music entertainment. There's so many different levels of entertainment, but 25 plus years in the industry, owned multiple nightclubs, operated multiple nightclubs. operated and produced many concerts, Spanish, rock en español, banda, Latin pop, to English, top 40 music. Been owners of these venues, and I have a couple of I'm a partner in 2 restaurants that we have in San Jose, Chachos, and we have a bar as well, San Patricios. And aside from that, I also have other businesses that I'm involved in. General contracting, we build commercial construction developments. I do real estate development. I really love real estate development. I'm really excited to be in that industry. It's in that space. Then I continue my passion and love, which is media, entertainment. So Latin Live, I'm one of the co-founders of Latin Live. And that's an amazing company because we focus on all the big Latin shows across the United States, eventually globally. Then I've wrote my first book and just finished my second one and working on my third one now. And so I have my hands pretty much in a lot of different things. And that's just because I've learned through my experiences that I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. I did that when I was I went through that experience, and not because I did it purposely, but back in 2008 when I owned one of the nightclubs here in Silicon Valley, I was doing real estate development as well. Who would have known that in 2008, when the stock market dived, that it would have taken the real estate market down as well. So I used to tell everyone I was like Bruce Wayne and Batman. Bruce Wayne during the day doing real estate, and Batman at night doing the nightclubs, because that was my lifestyle. So for me my work ethic is just very strong. So and I love it. I love what I do. You have to love what you do.
It shows, because I've seen you grow so much throughout the years, even though we weren't like as connected back then as we are now. But one of the things that I wanted to touch on today, Mauricio, if you don't mind, is I've been watching your interviews and I've been watching your lives. But during one of the interviews, the host asked you if you could explain to her where your confidence comes from. And I feel like there was so much more that you could say about that. But if you could give us like a real quick synopsis of how did you become, or what did you do to be so confident and live the life in the way that you do?
It's gonna sound crazy to you, but it's the God honest truth. When you learn to stop being afraid, you will go through anything. And that's really what it is for me. I just stopped being afraid at a very young age, at people's rejections, at rejection period. Right. And I think that's really the biggest thing with us and people. And we talked about that last week. It's fear. Right. Fear will cripple any giant. Mm-hmm. Fear has crippled our nation now, our world right now, because fear, the act of fear, once it gets in your heart, in your soul, in your mind, if you don't control that and put it in check, then you're not gonna come out of things or situations or things that come up in business. And like us right now, we're not afraid to be here and go through. Yeah, we're not afraid to be here, and we're not afraid to share our experiences. And you got to be vulnerable. When you start sharing your flaws, or your some of what your failures, and really for me, I always say I'm going to fail my way to success. You got to look at it differently.
There's truth in that, right? I asked this question because it was really a fascinating point I felt in that interview, and so my response to that question is different than yours. My confidence comes from, and I'm not disagreeing because I totally agree with you, but for me, I was asked this on an interview that I just did that we're going to promote that later on and blah, blah, blah. And it was another topic that was, question that was asked of me in that topic. And I really had to dig back and think, well, how did I become who I am? And for me, it all boils down to one person. And that was my mom. From the minute that I was born, she instilled in me in that sense of confidence in who I am. And she was very, very adamant in the way that she did it. I mean, it was like every day. And the things that I would get from her is something that I say to this day. You are no better than anyone else, but you sure as hell aren't any less than anyone else. So
Right.
for me, that's where that comes from. And it really kind of leads me into why we're doing this weekly show, because we do have two different styles. We have two different viewpoints and perspectives. We have a lot of things in common, of course, but we also have two different curriculums. I know the way that I teach is based on my curriculum, and your curriculum is very different than mine. The people that I'm targeting are different, and the people that you're targeting are different. So I think the thing that I really would like everyone to walk away with from our show is that even though there's two perspectives and two styles, we have one goal, and that's to help people. That's what we do, right? But we also don't have all the answers.
Right.
We don't know everything. We're going to struggle and find our way on certain things, and we're going to learn and grow along with everyone that's watching us. And I think that one thing, and I do have notes because I don't memorize all this stuff that I want to, get into the 30 minutes. But we're going to get better and better, and it'll flow a lot easier. And we also know, and you chime in here, Mauricio, too. Like, we're not everybody's cup of tea. Individually, we're not, and together, we're not. Our styles or our viewpoints may not mesh with everyone, but I know a lot of coaches, and you have a huge network. I know a lot of different coaches, and I have a big network. So what we're trying to do here for everyone is we want to be that funnel of where to go for like some quick nuggets of information, but also if we can't help you, we want to be that source for the other coaches to look at us and say, hey, I can help you with that. One of your viewers asked, I can help you with that. So that's what we want to do. At the same time, we want to give our viewers some tools for growth. Now, this week, we are going to leave you with four pops of confidence and tools, like real actionable steps. And this one specifically for you, Mauricio, one of the videos that you sent me this morning blew my mind. And it was so easy once it was just presented in such a way. It was so simple, but I'd never heard it presented in that way. Can you share with everyone, what does 30%, 100,000, 800 and language, what does that mean in your world? Yeah.
So for me, that was I sent you 3 videos. 2 of them were Eric Thomas and one was David Goggins.
I got the 2, and it was Eric Thomas.
Okay. So wow. So I need to send you the David Goggins, and that one will really shake you up. Those are speakers that I have to, in the morning when I do my morning routines, my morning rituals kind of thing. Working out is a big part of my routine because I got to stay healthy and strong, especially during these times. So I gotta, no excuse. I gotta make the time to work out and get my stuff. So I play videos, and this morning I got to listen to Eric Thomas and one of his successful routines. What people that are successful do, and what he talks about and how it really instills on me is the language. If you want to learn to be successful or be around successful people, you have to learn the language, the buzzwords, the things that the trigger points that get people excited about wanting to do business with you. I shared with someone earlier today. I was at one point I was complaining about some of the situations I was dealing with, and a good friend of mine, she said to me, she said, Mauricio, you wanted to be a billionaire. Those are billionaire problems. And I'm kind of like, I felt like I got slapped in the face. And then if you think about it, people that want to be rich, people that want to be millionaires, people that want to have more in life, everything comes with problems. Even poor. If you think poor comes with poor problems. So it's in order to grow and to elevate yourself, we got to learn the different language, the language of our industry, no different than in entertainment, music, or accounting or stocks. Somebody hits me up with stocks. They want to know what stocks would I invest in. Well, I don't know personally, but I know somebody that does. I have a bunch of stockbroker friends that I can ask for knowledge. So
Right.
to me, language is important. You can't step into a very high level executive power meeting and come in with street language. I mean, unless you're a billionaire,
Unless you're an artist.
yeah. Unless you have unless you're at that level where you really don't want to, you don't really care,
Right.
and at that point, then maybe that's just not the room you need to be in, so
Right.
or want to be
Yeah,
in.
there's all different factors, right? Can you talk about the 30% these were the numbers that really grabbed me, and he was talking about that millionaires live on 30%.
Yeah, of their income. And that's really what, it's, if you're making $10,000 a month, you can't be spending $15,000 a month. You're negative.
Right.
If you're making $10,000 a month, you got to find a way to live on 30%. And you really think about it as, well, it depends where you live at too,
Of course. These are blanket statements.
Yeah, I mean, if you're living here in the Silicon Valley and you're making $150,000 a year per capita, based on the numbers here, they consider that poverty.
Right.
Now, $150,000 a year somewhere in the Midwest, I mean, you're making some pretty good money,
right?
Because it's relevant to the environment that you're in. A house in that area, you're paying for a 3,000 square foot house. Your mortgage over there is probably $1,800, a month, $1,500, depending, however you have it set up. But you try to live below your means, and if you can live at 30% of your income, then you're going to go a lot further. The other part that they talked about is, they had the older vehicles. They talk about, if I have a let's say 2015 vehicle, it's a 5-year-old vehicle. It's probably almost paid off. I don't need to be rolling in a 2020 vehicle unless I really wanted to, but you just have to understand your disciplines. You have to understand the decisions and where you want to be at in life. So, and that's really what it boils down to. I mean, I've shared this, and I've shared this with you, pre 2008 for me. I mean, my cost of living was 15 to 20,000 a month. Any bad weekend that I had, and if I fell behind, I can feel those little ripples. And it was just a life of excess. I didn't have to have 4 cars. I didn't have to have all these extra things. And those were just choices.
Learned.
Yeah, but those were choices that I had when I was young.
Right.
But life gives you experiences. And if you learn, because I had to learn. If I didn't learn from that, I'd probably continue those same mistakes. But you learn to live and appreciate the things that we have. So. Right. So I believe I totally believe in the statement that was shared today. The other 2, what was the other numbers that he gave?
He talked. So he was talking. It seems like there's an echo.
No,
he was talking about that $100,000 you should set aside.
Oh yeah. So I mean, he used that as an example. So set aside some money for that day and that time that something might happen. So like when you have a situation like this, because he was talking about COVID-19 and it's interesting. Did you catch the story of COVID-19? I mean, I think this is something, we should share, and believe it or not, it resonated with me, because when I was planning my 2020 plan, it was in December already, it was early December, mid-December, right before the holidays. Right. On my board, I did a vision board. I did my chart. I wrote my 2020 team. Right. I mean, I wrote out my map for success for 2020. Right.
And I do want to be clear. He was talking to people who, and that's why I was directing these questions to you. Yeah. And I don't want to run out of time, but he was directing these nuggets of wisdom, because the people in this room, from what I gathered, they all want to become multimillionaires. Right. And that's the field that you coach people who want to become multimillionaires. Yeah. So that's $100,000. Again, everything is relative, but that's what he said. You should have $100,000 set aside. If this is who you want become and what you want to do, you need to live on 30% of your income, set aside $100,000. And then the third number was the number 800. Do you remember what that was?
No, I remember. I did remember the tides. I don't know the 800. What was the 800?
That was the credit score. He said he was told, right? He was told you got to have these things now. Go and fix your credit score.
Right. Go. So don't go buy things that are going to ruin your credit. Credit score. So have 100,000. Live on 30% of your income. Have money saved. Have good credit score. And then the other one that he touched on too was, if you're a person of faith, to give tithes,
right.
to give.
Right. Absolutely.
To give back.
I mean, we could really dive into this like in our one-on-one coaching sessions, but I wanted to sort of put that out there, to put things into perspective and to start planting those seeds for people who may want to work with you and have you as their coach. This is where you're going to be coming from, right? The second pop of confidence and, tool that I wanted to make sure that we cover today is our platform, StreamYard. You mentioned you got Zoom behind you, but I will tell you this, and Mauricio, you can also chime in with me.
Oh, yeah.
I am not a tech person.
Neither am I. I had a friend today. I was with a friend today. He said, "Mauricio, you're such a square," and I'm like, trust me, I'm far from a square. But when it comes to technology, I am. Because my focus is not technology. My focus is. Right.
We're both in industries that have to do with hospitality and entertainment. Right. That is people.
Right.
But this situation has forced us to pivot, just like everybody else. At least for me, this is something that I probably would have avoided for the rest of my life. No. But here it is. So jump in, be fearless. I have to have the confidence, but the tools are super important. So I just want to say, and I'm not getting paid by StreamYard or anything like that, but I'm just saying, if I can figure this out, anyone can figure this platform out. And a lot of people are going to have to do lives and go on to these meetings and be on their cameras, and they've never had to do it before. I'm telling you, if I could figure this out, that's why I'm keeping the banner, StreamYard.com. This is a living, breathing tool that can help you get into this new era of communication.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with you. And actually, I'm going to share with you, give you credit. You inspired me to go forth and learn this software.
But Chandra confirmed it. I have to give, again, props to Chandra because I started researching this back in October of last year. And I'm a procrastinator when I'm not comfortable in something, and I didn't pull the trigger in October.
Yeah.
Or November or December.
No wonder. I mean, that's why Chandra's where she's at, because she's dope. She knows what she knows what she's doing, and she's consistent.
Right.
And that's why she's going to be she's already successful, and she's already climbing up that ladder to become even more successful because consistent. And
she also shares. That's what we're
right.
also
that's
about.
Right.
Like this is real stuff here, guys, that can help you.
Yeah.
If you have to do this, no offense against any other platform, but I did research other platforms and I could not figure it out. So here we are. Our second one.
This is by far the easiest platform, and I've shared it with others now. I like the fact, for me, I don't see myself doing anything more than 6 people at this moment.
Right.
But
correct.
As
There's
we
limitations.
grow, as we grow, we might do these live webinars. I shared with you earlier too this week. After last week's, I got really motivated. And I started making a list of all the guests that I want to talk and bring onto my show that I do on Wednesdays. And I think eventually we'll start bringing in special guests on our show
for sure.
And first person I wrote down was a good friend of mine, Miles Kovac, founder of Dove Magazine. I've done a couple of speaking engagements with him. And then the next person I wrote, and this person, Stedman Graham, Oprah's hubby. I talked to Stedman last week, and I just it was crazy. I sent him a text. Hey, Stedman, hope you're doing well. Hope this text finds you safe and healthy. And within 5 minutes, he replied back. He's like, yes. He says, I'm doing great. And I said, hey, I have this crazy idea. Would love to chat with you. And he's like, I'm available at 2:00. Can I call you then? I'm like, Boom. Hey, yeah, absolutely.
You have
So
to
yeah,
ask, right? Or you don't know if you don't ask. But
again, I'm
that's
not.
great.
I'm
I'm excited.
fearless. I'm
Right.
fearless.
Yes, of course.
I'm
And I'm
fearless.
really excited about the things that are coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
So
this
he, but
tool right here.
so I want to just add to that. So the point being is that he said it himself. Technology is a gift,
Yeah.
and we didn't take it serious until this happened. So now, we have to really take it serious because this is a form of us communicating aside from the telephone where we can pick up the phone and talk. But here we
Right.
can now have multiple people and have a conversation and
Right.
still be effective.
And you're saying those of us that are not in tech, because clearly
Right.
people in tech, this is it for them. But those of us that are not, now we are forced to do this. And so we might as well do it with with a tool that helps and it's easy. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure at some point the big guys are going to come for StreamYard because they're the easiest as far as I can tell. But yes, they don't have the bandwidth that others do. I'm just saying, I'm sure that that's going to happen down the road. But I also wanted to mention before we sign off is, I'm a Hispanic Star ambassador, and these are two more tips that I'm going to post in the Facebook, on the Facebook page for you. But tomorrow, Cafecito con Prospanica is helping people, training people how to do these lives. How, if you've never done it before, they are going to be Wednesday, April 29 at 9 a.m. PST. I'm going to put the link on the Facebook page with this video for you. And then they also do Hispanic Star. They also do weekly coronavirus updates in Spanish and English. Everyone at Hispanic Star, at least the majority of people, speak Spanish. So we know that there's a communication divide, that there's a lot of information that isn't, translated or given to people who only speak Spanish. So I wanted to bring that these are real tools that people can access. It's in the technology. But Mauricio, can you also do me a favor? Can you check to see if any comments do we have some people?
So I was trying to. It's not showing me the comments on my side.
Oh, it's not
So I
showing
can
it
go.
on either.
Yes, I can. I don't know if you have to go to the studio and then maybe activate it, but on me,
Okay.
I can see private chat, but I can't see live.
Yeah, I
So,
don't.
and then I went to my Facebook right now to see if there's any comments on there
Okay.
that are coming in. So I don't.
All right.
I don't.
Well,
We're
we'll
good.
review it because I
Yeah.
think it's really important to review what we talked about last week. And we'll just try to, as we learn, we'll get better. But the two pops of confidence, do you remember, Mauricio, what we left everyone with, what you told them to do?
Well, I know for a fact that the first one for me was fear. So
Well, no, we gave them some. Yes, we talked about that, but we also talked about some of the things that, with everything going on right now. I mean, the show is sort of, we're impacted so greatly by this lockdown, by this quarantine, that the show is really centered around that right now. It's not what we would have necessarily, you know, been doing, but we're jumping in. This is what's happening, and we want to address things as they happen. So the first one, as a reminder, we were sharing with people that in order for you to become confident and remain confident, you have to learn how to ask for help.
right. Yeah.
Right? And then the second thing that we left them with was negotiate the terms of that help that you need, meaning negotiate with your landlord, negotiate with the credit cards. Like, these are all these things where we're coming at and defining confidence from all angles, not just from within, but giving you the tools to help you navigate through situations that, like many of us, we've never been through these situations before. And there's a whole lot of learning that's going to go on.
And if people need help with that, they can reach out. I mean, those are simple things that sometimes people just need a little push.
Right. Or a little script.
Yeah, a little script. I mean, it's not difficult. You just have to not be, again, it goes down to the core. You cannot be afraid to ask for help,
right.
Period. The squeaky, they say the squeaky wheel always gets the oil. The mouth that doesn't ask for help never will get fed. So,
Right. Right.
you
I
know,
know that's true. It's cierto. I mean, those are all the things where I think, it's for some people, like you said, it's fear-based. Other people, it's pride. They don't want to ask for help because they don't want other people to see their struggle. Well, I got news for everyone, folks. We're all struggling right now in one way or another.
that's right.
So if we can help, that's why we're doing this. So, our time's up. I don't know if you want to leave everyone with a little extra nugget, but we did give 4 tips today.
Good. Again, I just continue to feed yourselves with positive things. Create new routines. I'll be honest with you. I this past weekend it was an eye opener for me because we're now in the 6th week. I broke it down into segments of two, the first 2 weeks, the second 2 weeks, and now the third set of 2 weeks, and now we're going to go into this for another 4 weeks. We all gotta have a strong mental toughness built. And I think that right now it's where we really just need to all come together. We really need to be appreciative of the things that we do have,
Right.
and know that there's that also 90% of this world is in the same mess that we're in. So it's not just even the big companies, and I shared this earlier with another friend of mine that even big companies, rich people, everyone has problems. It's just they're different versions of problems. So we cannot be afraid. Like these big companies are not afraid either to ask for help.
I'll say.
I read the story this morning about the LA Lakers. They returned $4.2 million that they got from the PPP,
Oh.
and I think that they felt shameful because the money was made to help small businesses. Small business. How do you define a small business? Is it by quantity of people or what? I mean, it varies. So.
Oh my gosh, you just opened up a whole.
Oh yeah, no, and we're going to talk about those things. I mean,
Yes,
those are,
yeah.
we need to be. This is what we're talking. This is you and I are coming together for this purpose: is to share information and to help break away all the information that's out there, because we're getting the left information, the right information, and then we're getting some information that we have to filter all of this, but we're getting bombarded from so many different directions. So
Right.
I hope that we can influence and impact our immediate circle of people that we know that trust us,
Right.
and then that they can take the information that we share with them to others. So yeah, so that's really where I'm at, and we're doing this. I'm doing this because I really love to help others, and I love to have conversations like this with you,
Yeah.
and with others as well. I mean, I love to have stimulating, constructive conversations,
Right.
because I think I'm at, not only because of where I'm at in my life, but because I just want to learn more. I want to continue to be a sponge, because the world just continues to change
It
at a
sure
very
is.
at a very rapid pace. So.
Yep, I agree with you 100%, and I think we do agree on a lot of things. It'll be interesting to see when we're live and we don't agree on something.
Yeah, no, that'll be interesting.
Because you know that's coming.
Well, we'll see. We'll see when we cross that bridge. So we'll see who hangs up on the camera. I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm out.
We'll come out with the boxing gloves. Hey, you're going to get into boxing. You might get in sooner.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to next week. I know that I'm following your lead. This is going to be an amazing show, and we're as we continue this, it's going to continue to grow. So I thank everyone that joined us.
Thank you for your time, everyone.
Yeah, no.
Thank you for joining us. And
we're a team.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm obligated. So I'm here.
Okay, I got this recorded.
No, we're good. I'm obligated. I told everyone Tuesdays and Wednesdays are not good for me, guys. They're like, why? I'm like, because I have a show to be on, and I can't be showing up to a show sideways. So I got to make sure that I'm focused. So we're good.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone who joined us today. We hope that you are taking away some helpful hints, and we've got stories and insight, and we want to share them with you, and we have our networks. So we will see you next week, next Tuesday, same time. I was going to say same bat channel, but I'll probably get in trouble. I don't think I can say that. But
Good.
we'll see you next week, everyone. Thanks. Thank you, Mauricio.
All righty.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
See ya.